And welcome back in. Listeners, it's been a little while since we've had an Am I the Arch Enemy? So we thought we'd throw back to a more familiar topic for this particular one, and then we'll go back to our regularly scheduled programming with our tiebreaker series. I'm Levi.
I'm Jacoby.
And I'm Joe.
And this is the Thought Vessel. Welcome to the show.
With our Am I the Arch Enemy? It begs the question, when's the last time you had a failure in communication?
This kind of harkens back to my teaching days where communication is especially key when you have just a bunch of little monsters running around that they call kindergartners, where you have to specify everything explicitly to the letter in order for them to be able to follow it. There are 4 magic words that every teacher in elementary school needs to know. And that is the phrase, when I say go. Because if you're in the middle of explaining something and they hear just something that they might want, like, today we're going to grab a basketball and then we're going to work on shooting. People are just going to start sprinting and flying around everywhere. And it's going to take you like 10 minutes to get everyone sitting down and corralled again. So you always have to say, when I say go, you're going to grab a basketball, head to the hoop and work on your shooting form or something like that. There's been so many times in which if you say something slightly wrong, then somebody will misinterpret it and then it can throw off your entire lesson.
I can hear it now. Many kids going, my leg! I can absolutely see that, especially with just how I am with certain instructions. And then you try to bring it back to when I was a kid. Oh boy, I would have been a menace in your class.
I don't know if you would have been in my class at that point. I would have kicked you out.
Other teachers have definitely tried. They succeeded, but they tried.
They succeeded. I'm not sure that you can call it try anymore. They did it.
Adam.
I'm going to guess there's a lead up to this, that there was a specific time that you had one of those didn't phrase it right.
In college, getting my degree in education, we would practice having classes with the other students intentionally trying to misinterpret the instructions to kind of train and combat this. The worst I saw was, it was one of those like, there's no way that you misinterpreted this bad, but it's in kindergarten. So like malicious ignorance is just not really a thing. It was a basketball unit as well. Everyone was working on dribbling. And one kid let his impulse thoughts win and just kicked another kid's ball and hit him square in the face. Kids crying all over the place. I came over, buddy, we can't be doing that. I need you to go over there and apologize. That's not okay. The kid's looking very remorseful, walks past the child that's still holding his face and crying, goes over to the ball and goes, I'm sorry. Like it was a pet or a puppy or something. He didn't think maybe the kid that I just kicked a ball into is what the teacher's referring to as apologizing. Nope. Apologizing to the basketball he kicked because that's not how to use the equipment. That's how it's supposed to be.
Kids to other kids. Fuck them kids.
That's essentially how that went. But yeah, that was definitely my communication fail. I should have said apologize to your fellow student that you kicked the ball into their face.
My God. I have no sympathy for you, crying child. I'm sorry, ball. I'm sorry I kicked you into that child's face.
That's the same kid where I slapped you and you hurt my hand. What are you doing?
Clearly, the ball had a more sustained injury.
What about you, Jacoby?
The biggest lapse in communication lately, I was playing this game recently called Rabbit and Steel. It's a bullet hell styled game. You got these rabbits, and there's a bunch of other mobs that shoot, bullets and whatever. They have screen wiping abilities, blah, blah, blah.
So what you stealing?
I kept steal as in STEEL.
Boring now.
What you stealing?
I can't believe it. We got to steal it.
I kept having to tell the people playing with me, because it was 4 people in a bullet hell. I'm like, guys, inside the circle is where safety is, because if you're in the circle, the bullets can't hit you. Immediately, they said, circle equals safety. They're thinking they have to hover around the circle. So they're just making these big circular motions around the object. And I'm like, no, in the circle. And they're like, what? And then they proceed to get knocked out because they take 13 bullets to the face.
When you say 13 bullets to the face and knocked out, I'm thinking that like Batman skit where like he doesn't understand the concept of death.
You can revive in the middle of the bullet hell.
Obviously, next to the circle is in the circle. I don't know what you're talking about. That seems like perfect logic to me.
Yeah. And then after we fix that, I'm like, okay, guys, this next boss, they do half screen wipes. You're going to see a dotted line. There's going to be motions. Don't stand in them. They proceed to take that as a stand in the wavy lines. That is clearly safety. And then proceed to get wiped.
Wouldn't you want to go into the ocean? There's waves for a reason.
Like, guys, I'm trying to save you your life. Please, just don't stand in the fucking radius. It's not that hard.
No, Jacoby, we crave violence, and it is a violence of our own death.
I'm just experiencing the deep voice coming out of these little cartoon rabbits.
They're all small little girls, so, I mean, deep voice would be hilarious.
I stand by it.
It's like that one character from Shangri-La Frontier, which is literally just in the game as a small girl, but it is controlled by like a 60-year-old man. So you hear that deep voice. I'm here for lore.
You see a little moe anime bunny girl. She's like 2 feet tall. She looks extremely adorable, and it's just the voice of, "Hey, how you doing?"
That's exactly it.
I would love to see a game in which you have the little animated girl bunny, but it's like Morgan Freeman.
Morgan
I'd pay
Freeman.
good money for that shit.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
All right, how about you, Joe?
I recently upgraded my computer so that I can do a lot more editing, and part of that had been putting the old computer up for sale because it's still good. I can recoup some of my money that I put into it to just put towards the new computer that I just bought and had put installments on. And for the most part, it just kind of stayed on the market for a while. Hadn't heard anything until recently, where somebody offered me about $100 from its last price that I had adjusted to. Given the fact that I probably would have been adjusted down to that price anyway, I was perfectly fine with accepting the money. We set up a time that I would go over to the local game shop that we all had to wait for him to exchange the goods. Should have been fine. We had a great back and forth. They said that the location was fine. They asked me to text them after I was done with work. So I do that. I text them that I'm heading over to the game store. I arrive at the game store. I tell them I've arrived. And then I wait for 30 minutes, not hearing a word from him. Send a message saying, can I get where you were at? I've been waiting here for about 30 minutes. Another 30 minutes pass. And I'm just going in between, checking other things on my phone, listening to music, waiting. And that's when I check the messages again and see that he's read it. No response.
It ghosted you.
Basically, I asked, when can I expect you to be here? It got to so late that once it got to about 5:20, I was just, if you have not answered me by this time, I'm leaving. If you still want this, reschedule with me. This was also at the time in which my mom just started a new workout class that she's been going to at their country club. So she asked me to handle pork chops for dinner. And by the time that I got home, amongst everything else that I had to do, such as taking out the trash and calling the company that has our trash can to get our trash can replaced because it has been hanging on by a thread. There are 2 holes in it that are massive, like you could stick your head through them, as well as full-on cracks down the sides. It is time to replace.
You should throw the trash can in the trash.
But aside from that, I just needed to do all of that after dealing with that and cooking dinner. And I had to cook the pork chops in a different way just to have them at around our usual dinner time. Because if I cooked them the way that my dad wanted them to be cooked, I would have to wait until 7:30 to eat.
Standard for some people.
Not for us. We usually eat at 6.
I usually eat a little bit earlier, but I'm on the 2 meals a day kind of a thing. So
yeah, I'm on a 2 meals a day, and it's still usually that. That guy ghosted me, and it has certainly been a horrible experience because it was a waste of my time. I was there for an hour and 40 minutes just waiting for any kind of response. Absolutely.
That is definitely rough.
If you waste over an hour of my time, I'm just not going to be sorry.
Speaking of wasting time, we have our Am I the Archenemy? Joe, take it away.
Am I the archenemy for staying late to play a game of Magic the Gathering? Hi guys, essentially I, 25 male, just got into MTG, Magic the Gathering, card game. He in fact went into 2 separate parentheses to explain that it is Magic the Gathering and then card game.
Proud of him.
I just got into MTG and play with my coworkers who introduced me, and my first deck finally came, and we're supposed to do my first game with my deck after work today. Run-on sentences.
That was like 3 lines in one sentence. I'm impressed.
However, my wife, 25 female, has been in the field. Military, we're both military. Again, double parenthetical for military, we're both military.
If he didn't put we're both military, he would have gotten so much negative comments on just the fact that she alone was in the military.
I'm pretty sure he was going to get negative comments regardless based off of this story. I figured she wouldn't mind if I stayed after work for 30-ish minutes to play one single game and then go home. It's an hour commute in traffic to my home regardless, so instead of getting home at 4, I'd be home closer to 4:30 or 5, which I didn't think would be an issue. However, when I told her I was planning on staying for a game, she lost it and is extremely upset and doesn't want to go out to eat anymore or do anything. I offered to cancel the game since I didn't know it was such a big deal, but she said don't, and I already made my decision. I'm still going to cancel the game and go back home since she's so upset, but am I the archenemy for this, or is she overacting a little? And then there's the update. I canceled the game and left work and called her to let her know, and she said she told me not to, and it's not going to change the fact she's upset. And I was in the middle of talking, and she said, I suddenly do not care, so I was like, F it. I said, you don't care? Okay, I'll see you when I get home. I love you. And hung up right after. I sent a text asking what the f her problem is, and she hasn't responded.
That's the passive aggressive right there if I've ever seen it.
Passive? There's at least some active aggression in there too.
Yeah, that's not great.
This is a little bit less about Magic the Gathering itself, and this is more about the timing of everything. Obviously, when you're married, you have a certain level of priority to that other person. You kind of have to put their well-being kind of on par with yourself at some point, or in some situations, even better if you can swing it. But it's not a whole lot of time. It's talking like a 30-ish minute for the 1v1 game from what I'm seeing here. So this isn't going to be like 2-hour slugfest for Magic or anything like that. I get the feeling that there's something else that we're missing from this story behind the scenes, whether she had been gone since Monday, and obviously she was just very much looking forward to seeing her husband whenever she got back home. But I'm wondering if maybe something else might have happened, if it's just a really bad trip, or what exactly is going on here.
Apparently there was at least something planned with her, and apparently she came back that day when he decided to spend just a little bit extra time afterward just to do that. She just got back that day.
There is a little bit of information that we are missing here. It says, my wife has been in the field since Monday and came back today. We don't know what day of the week this is. If it was like Wednesday, like a couple days gone, is a lot different to me than like if it was Friday and she'd been gone the entire week.
If she's gone for 5 days and then comes back to your plans, sure, a little more annoyed. My thing here is I think to boot, it's a little crazy to me to be so distraught over 30 minutes. If he didn't say so, just went and spent the extra 30 minutes, right? Then came back, then sure, I guess definitely worth being more mad about if you don't know what's going on. If he's expected home at 4, he's like, hey, I'm just going to get this quick little game in, and it's like 30 minutes. I don't see the juxtaposition on the extreme, then all of our plans. I don't care.
There is the possibility that he didn't say how long that was supposed to be. There might have been the possibility that the text was, I'm going to be staying a little bit late to play a game with friends. But when you don't add any kind of time frame into that, that could be interpreted as a 2-hour thing instead of just a 30-minute thing. Because there can be the differences between your late and my late.
Yeah, that's fair. I also think, though, offering to cancel and then not accepting that this minor time issue is too important. Got you. We cancel and we just meet up. And then be like, nah, you. You get to deal with your choices and don't get to enjoy my play. Like, that's just such a bad take.
I think a part of it, too, granted, I could just reading into this a little bit too far. It may not have been the time difference. It could have been like 5 minutes, but I think it's the husband prioritizing his work friend or a game over his spouse. in this context. So maybe a slight feeling of rejection, where obviously he's very excited. Like this is the first day his first Magic the Gathering deck finally came in and he had everything ready to go and just wanted to get a chance to try it out. If you ordered something and it took like a couple weeks to arrive, I know there's been times that I've had like a larger Magic order come in. I've been practically skipping to the mailbox, excited to kind of get a chance to get my hands on the cards and everything. So I definitely feel that. It may have just been something as simple as that. It's really hard to know. I feel like we're missing a big piece of the context.
Because honestly, this also reads as if they got married as they entered the military, because obviously we can't know how long they've been in the military, but there's a possibility that they have been in their contracts for like 6, 7 years, just because they might have just gotten right and out of high school. If they're anything like some of the family members that I've known, they might have also had gone into the military because they were in a relationship with each other.
Even with the sudden relationship idea, I will take a leap of assumption. Let's say they've been married maybe a year. Maybe this is a brand new marriage.
Okay.
Give her the most justification for being upset. You're already bored of me. Whatever juxtaposition you would want to take to be so blisteringly mad. If you are at a point where your communication breaks down to intolerance and you're shoving away the person you're trying to have a life with, or you're shoving away a friend because you just are so upset over something that can be very easily communicated. If your comms break down to the point of, oh, you did this, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to speak to you, I don't want to be anywhere near you over something as simple as a game instead of having an adult conversation, especially at the age of 25. You can't be an adult about this. You shouldn't be doing any of it. For Magic, you don't play the game if you can't be a decent human being while playing the game. There are people who are obnoxious, sure. At the end of the day, what we talk about on our podcast all the time, etiquette is 9/10 of the law. Communication is a fundamental building block of how you do everything in Commander, how you process your relationships, develop your friendships in our game that everyone likes to play and love, and how we do politics, etc., etc. If communications break down so easily, it's just like in Commander, you can no longer commit to politics, don't bother playing with them then.
For me, though, I think this dives into a more of an inherent level of just not communicating with the spouse at all. If there was a normal line of communication, then she would have known that he was trying to get into Magic the Gathering and was very excited for this first deck to come in, and probably should have communicated like, the deck's finally come back. Is it okay if I just hang out with my coworker for 30 minutes after work? Or just letting you know that's what I'm going to do ahead of time. In that case, he'd be like, no, I'm going to be getting back from this trip. It'd be really important for me that you're there so we can kind of reconnect and everything after my long absence from home. I definitely get that. Like, even my wife, Sarah, she doesn't play Magic the Gathering that much. Like, she knows how to play and everything. She knows that I've been working on a Captain America deck as of late, and she knows what kind of articles I'm currently writing on at any given week. She's not an expert in these things, but just from talking, communicating about our days, she knows kind of what's going on to begin with.
I can also see that this might have just been the latest in a long line of problems that they might have been having relationship-wise, because definitely an overreaction on just canceling everything, especially since it is only going to be 30 minutes, because there was no, well, how late are you going to be? Or did you forget any kind of plans today? Anything that might have just brought them a little bit to a better understanding. Also, just the misunderstanding of him not fully getting where she's coming from probably just means that there's been communication issues between them for much longer than this post.
That is very possible. Without having the full picture, it's really hard to tell. I'm kind of on the mindset of, I think this dude is the archenemy here. I think that this is brewing over a lot of months of kind of resentment or anything, where even while everyone's still hot, sending a text of WTF her problem is, that's not going to be productive. That's not helping your case. That's only going to make the person more mad. To me, it just shows almost a level of immaturity and not being able to handle your business.
If the update wasn't even here, we probably wouldn't even be saying anything like that.
I don't know. I feel it is easier to be very mad if your spouse is being irritable, and a lot of people don't have being an adult or not, the self-control to direct their anger properly. Man or woman in general. I've seen women get hot over nothing and they just bring it to everything. And I've seen it vice versa with men. Starting off hot to begin with makes her the enemy here. The absolute disregard for the idea of communication at all just fucks the whole process. You have nowhere to start.
Okay. So you're saying NTA, not the archenemy.
I'm going to go with the tag that they actually put on this post. Everyone sucks. Honestly, both of them did not handle it well. I'm pretty sure everyone sucks in this one.
It does look like a very bad situation. It seems like a very toxic relationship for sure.
I can be bent that way. He should not be an immature douche canoe in spite of anyone being angry at him. That's fair.
There's your word of
I
the
guess
day. Douche canoe.
Douche canoe. My final comment here in the end of the day is there are things that are more important than magic. You have to be able to set your priorities somewhere. Having communication, I don't think this would have been much of an issue. For the spouse, at least I doubt it. You could have done this on the next day or the next week, whenever you had the opportunity to do this, because I don't think this would have been like a now or never kind of a thing. Just try your best to set your priorities in line, understand that magic's a lot of fun and it's a great escape for people, but you got to live in reality too.
Don't give up on your relationships just for a card game.
I reject your reality and substitute it with my own. Look at this pretty cloud.
That is, in fact, a very mint cloud Magic the Gathering card.
Hey, and that's all the time we have. Any final comments before we go?
Go forth, experience people.
Go forth and experience people. Maybe not so much be passive-aggressive with your spouse or significant other.
Communication is the key. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Thought Vessel. If you have anyone who you think would be interested in listening to the podcast, be sure to share this around. We're definitely trying to grow our audience here. And we have our 50th episode coming up here soon. So if you have any ideas for that, be sure to let us know. We are definitely open to suggestions.
I want to hear your thoughts. I want to pick your brain. I will open your skull to get there if you don't will let us in.
We shall be the vessel of your thoughts.
Good night, everybody.
Take care.
I already made my decision. I'm ending the episode.